with a soda machine that's outside, so going around all the parking meters last night, I was able to get enough money to get a soda pop, and that's what I'm going to do. There's a lady who works here. She doesn't work this early, so I showed up too early, obviously. But I will obviously come back later and try to say hello to her. Alright, we'll try this one. Nope, that one's out. Try the Mountain Dew. There we go. Anyway, to this gas station. There are people here who are definite characters. Oh my God, they are so much fun. All right, and it's just this gas station. Like, you aren't gonna find people like this at any other gas station. I've never ever met people like this at another gas station. Maybe it's because people in Oregon are just naturally weird. You know what? I'm gonna walk past that lady anyway. I know she's got her window open and I look like a hobo and it creeps people out, but I'm not trying to hurt anybody, and walking past shouldn't be something that I should be afraid of. I quite often am. Especially if it's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. Now, that's not because I'm racist or sexist. It's because the primary perpetrators of most of the crimes against the homeless and against men are specifically blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girls. She throws on the waterworks, you'll give her whatever she wants. And we got issues where there's a lot of states where abortion was, well, it was illegal, except in cases, of course, rape and incest. The problem with that is that in those states, the reports of rape were between 20 and 40% higher than in states that didn't have those laws. Do you know why that is? Because that girl wanted to have sex, she had sex, she got pregnant, but she don't want to keep the kid. Now she's fucking scared that she's got to carry that kid full term and give birth. She got all these people telling her how much pain it's going to be, and it will be pain. It will be pain. Of course she's scared. Of course she doesn't want to have that kid. Just like that girl who got knocked up by her dad. No, she doesn't want to carry that child. What we're dealing with, though, is that we're having to deal with special rights. Special rights for select groups. You guys want to pretend that every white person is a fucking congressman, and that is obviously not the case. When have I ever been a congressman? When have I ever spoken before the Senate? When? How can it possibly be my fault? How? Now, I can see plainly that quote-unquote white society, it's not white society, it's cultural assholism. I mean, here in Hood River, see, look around me. Look, see, mostly white people. Most of these people are white. Most of these people mean mug me, or they just pretend I don't exist. When they have a bad day, I am their victim pool, especially for blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girls. Now, for me to say that, many of you want to pretend that that means I am in support of rape. Absolutely not. As a victim of sexual assault as a child and an adult, no, I am absolutely not promoting rape. What I'm promoting is equality. What I'm promoting is for us to stop making these laws based on wives' tales and BS. When you guys want to pretend that only men can be perpetrators, that only women can be victims, that women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and they could never, ever twist, manipulate, warp, contort, or fucking lie. Are you fucking kidding me? That is the number one tool that we teach women. I'm telling you straight up, women are not different than men. You teach them to be. Every woman in America knows that she can shake her chest and get out of a parking ticket. Every woman in America. Now, does that mean that it works on every officer? No. Does it mean that a fat 800-pound woman who can't even get out of her own vehicle is going to have the same luck as somebody who's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and 20? Probably not. No, that fat woman is not going to stand a chance in Hades. She's still going to get a ticket. She might get an extra ticket for being fat. Does that mean that they're literally giving her a ticket for being fat? No, some people are extremely grossed out by obesity. They hate fat people. And you know what? Some of those people are going to be police officers. There are people with foot fetishes who are police officers. There are people with foot fetishes who are murderers. I mean, just different strokes for different folks, right? No two of us are exactly the same. Time to sit down and have a drink, right? I'm homeless, so of course my drink must be alcoholic. Everybody knows that all homeless people are alcoholics and all of us are drug addicts and all of us must be, of course, child molesters, pedophiles, and rapists. Statistically, it's your dad. Statistically, who's going to get away? Your dad. Statistically, when you're afraid to turn in your dad, who are you going to take it out on? A homeless person. When you can't take it out on your predators, you take it out on the homeless. Now, obviously, me up there bitching about all them white people. Do I hate all those white people? No, but I recognize that most of the people in this town who have shown any decency towards me are brown. They're brown people. It's only brown people, apparently in Oregon, who see homeless people as human beings. Those of you who want to say, oh, well, you can't use the word only. Yes, I can. You guys do that all the time. All the time. It's only wrong if I do it back. Just like it's okay for people to yell at me. But I'm evil if I yell back. If they're yelling at me and assaulting me over something that didn't happen and I'm yelling back, no, I am not the fucking predator. Now we get situations where you flip the roles. Like the Killer Nanny and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp laughed through the whole goddamn thing. And you guys, you'll try to twist and manipulate anything into something it's not. You know, looking at Amber Heard from the very beginning, you know, I'm real big on men's rights. Absolutely. Same as I'm big on women's rights. We're all people. Now, at first, I listened to Chloe Roma of the Chloe Roma Men's Army. Well, you know what? That's not men's rights. If you're telling people to lie in court, you're not fighting for men's rights. The other thing is, men's rights does not mean women bashing. It doesn't mean hating on women. It doesn't mean blaming everything on women. But we are fucking hardcore getting that treatment this way, aren't we? Every time Congress passes a bill, it's our fault because we didn't do enough. When we have our own issues, we're told, oh, well, you know, you guys are just trying to take away from women's issues. No, we're the fuck not. If you're a rape victim and the cops won't do shit about your rapist and you're stuck in the same town as him, you come find me. I will fucking do something. Bonjour. All right, so there's a gentleman here taking garbage out, so I'm gonna be, nope, he's done with the garbage, so we're good. And of course, we got a dog down there. I'm not gonna point the dog out to you, but the dog does put me at ease. Dogs are made of love, you know that? They absolutely are. I've had plenty of people tell me, oh, my dog hates black people. No, you're afraid of black people. Your dog's just trying to protect you. Your dog seems to think that you know something about black people that it doesn't. That's why it's growling. Dogs don't do anything without purpose. Nothing at all. Now, just because a dog barks at somebody or doesn't like somebody, that doesn't actually mean that that person is a bad person. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good people either. There was a crook back in the 1930s, 1940s. It would have been the 1930s. It was prior to World War II. But this thief, when they busted him, you know, he was specifically targeting people's houses who had dogs. Now, why did he do that? Because he had bacon in his pocket. People with dogs in their house are a lot more self-assured that their stuff is safe. Well, when one bacon strip is enough to distract your dog, that's kind of an issue. Yeah, the dog didn't do it because he hates you. The dog didn't do it because he's not loyal to you. The dog did it because, well, he loves food. Oh, we got somebody listening to, what is that, NPR? What we need is more riots. It is obvious that protesting doesn't work. It is obvious that organized protesting doesn't work. It is obvious that the Second Amendment is what needs to happen. If we, all right, 200 million women in America. We got this complaint right now that abortion was made illegal before, what do you call that? It's a fucking made up bullshit thing. Oh, yes, assault rifles. Let me tell you what, sexual assault, that's assault. All right? So, does that make your penis an assault penis? I think so. If you haven't assaulted anybody with your fucking rifle, it's not a goddamn assault rifle. Meanwhile, if we've got 200 million women in the United States pissed off about this abortion bill, well, maybe instead of complaining about assault rifles, they should go fucking buy some, march on Washington. That is what your Second Amendment is for. You are trying to destroy the only part of the Constitution that allows you some semblance of what? Rebellion. That's right. That Second Amendment was specifically written so that the American people could and would rebel in situations like this. When it comes to women's rights, absolutely, I am there 100%. As a victim of sexual assault, as a child and an adult, I don't care what color the victim is. I don't care what gender the victim is. If you are a male who is sexually assaulted, come find me. Come and find me. I will help you. I will help you turn that shit in. Many of the women that I know, they talk about how when they were abused, they went and tried to go to their friends for help turning it in because they were afraid. And their friends blew them off with the same BS that those literal women themselves blew me off with. How is that okay? How is that acceptable? You say it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. But then you want to say it's men's fault, men's fault, men's fault for looking away. Men? Which men? Which men made that vote? What's the name of the man who raped you? You tell me that, I'll post it on the goddamn internet for God and everyone to know. But there ain't a goddamn chance in hell. And you guys should recognize this and realize this after years of fighting for everybody else's fucking rights. What the hell made you think I wasn't going to fight for mine? It's fucking insanity. But then, of course, you call them mentally ill. This is how most of these predators get away with these rapes. But you're not doing something about rape, are you? That's not what the argument is about right now. The argument is about abortion. Hey, John. Gross.
That's right here. Before my phone died and started to screw me over. So,
Bonjour. Anyway, there's a guy making a phone call here. I don't want to interrupt his phone call, so we're going to move just a little bit further down the street. We're told that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that I'm being abused. It's not your fault that I'm being abused. It's not your fault that you're doing absolutely nothing. It's not your fault that you're not speaking up. Meanwhile, it's men's fault that you're being abused. It's men's fault for not speaking up. It's men's fault. All these things that you want to be a fucking hypocrite about. You force us to do dangerous things to protect our families from predators like, well, Alicia Michelle Bollinger and Ted Bollinger. The assumption that a penis makes one guilty is fucked. It's not legal, but then again it is, isn't it? Because that's what's being pushed in the courts. These judges can't stand up to a woman, or especially a women's rights group. These are not women's rights groups. These are fucking hate groups like the KKK and BLM. I can fight for the rights of white men without being a fucking racist. I can fight for the rights of black men without being a racist. I can fight for the rights of Hispanic men without being a racist. I can do those things without selling a false narrative. I can do those things without pretending that most of the victims don't exist. Most of the victims of police shootings are not fucking black. They're not. They're disabled or fucking homeless. Meanwhile, even BLM has a hatred for the homeless. Now you want to say that you should not be held responsible for the actions of your members, yet you want to hold the KKK accountable for the acts of its members. I wholeheartedly believe that if you do those things, regardless of your skin color, you are responsible. It's not more okay because you're black or white. Wrong is fucking wrong. It's not more okay because you have a vagina or a penis. Wrong is wrong. Now here in the town of Hood River, you guys got to see several days in a row how white people versus brown people interact entirely different. You get to see how the family dynamics are entirely different. You complain that blacks and Mexicans are destroying this country. The hell they are. They're the ones holding it the fuck together. Because you're lazy pieces of shit who aren't fighting for your own goddamn rights. If they can do it to blacks and Mexicans, they can do it to you. That's first of all. Second of all, not everybody who is brown is Mexican. And I'm going to say that again, over and over. I've been saying that for how long? If you want fucking equality, you need to fight for actual equality. If you want equality just for you, those are special rights. If you want to treat people like shit because they don't do what the fuck you want when you want, well, keep in mind, all the shit that you're complaining that men aren't doing, I've been doing. I have been doing these things. But I don't fucking matter. My voice doesn't matter. Because although I've been doing those things for you, you would not in a million years do any of those things for me. Most of the female population in the United States does belong in prison. If it's illegal for a man to beat on a woman, it's illegal for a woman to beat on a man. And statistically, women are far more likely to beat on men. Also, statistically, they are far more likely to have assistance in doing so. Primarily, other females and their male counterparts. By male counterparts, that means the people they're having sex with. Yeah. Now, statistically, who is most likely to fuck your child? Their dad. Who is the second most likely to sexually abuse a child? Believe it or not, it's their mother. Their mother, their own mother. But then you guys want to argue wives' tales, saying no mother would ever do that to her child. Really? We've got evidence of it. A lot of evidence of it. And then, of course, a lot of this stuff where we were supposed to pretend that women are all sugar and spice and everything nice, and a woman can never do anything wrong. And you know, back in the day, before we had internet, when women were intelligent enough not to go doing stupid shit on the internet, well, sure, we could pretend that it was always the man's fault. It must always be the man's fault. But you know what? When a woman, especially in the 1950s, when they fucking pumped everybody full of goddamn meth, yeah, that was nearly all of the drugs in the 50s and most of the 60s. And your wife pulls out a fucking knife and she wants to fucking jack you to death. Fuck yeah, socking her in the goddamn jaw. That is not a wrong thing to do. If you have to fucking knock somebody out to stop them from killing you, I suggest you do so regardless of gender. Regardless of skin color. If someone tries to kill you, you try to kill them right back. But then you got problems like the situation with cops. Sure, you gotta be afraid of them fucking shooting you for no goddamn reason. But also, you don't know if this is gonna be the pig who's gonna blow you in the back of the fucking head or not. So if you try to pull out your gun, well, now he's got a valid excuse for blowing your head off. And he's gonna pull the same bullshit that you're not allowed to. He's allowed to pull statistics and use statistics to pretend like you might possibly, maybe hurt him. I was afraid! I was afraid! You look how many female predators there really are. Most of them commit their crimes under the auspices of fear. They pretend to be afraid. Yes, very smart. Way to play on bias. You must be the victim because you have a vagina. You're fucking insane. Now you're fucking nuttier than squirrel turds and showing the whole goddamn world. Of course, when a man is being abused, he just has to take it. Women can yell at him. They can fucking beat on him. They can steal his shit. They can do whatever the fuck they want to a man and get away with it. A man isn't even allowed to defend himself. He's not allowed. He's not even allowed to defend himself against lies and slander that result in dead people. There isn't a police officer in the country that, well, if somebody shot him in the fucking head, I'd be fucking elated. I really would. I would feel bad for the loss, but at the same time, that's one more fucking Nazi off the goddamn streets. You guys think the assholes that are passing the laws are bad? Just wait. Guess how many Jews Heinrich Himmler put in the oven? Not a single one. Guess how many Jews Adolf Hitler put in the oven? Not a single one. Matter of fact, they had their cronies do it, didn't they? No! Even then. Guess who the Nazis had throwing Jews into the ovens? Other Jews. Welcome to Nazi America, you fucking idiots. The real trick is, how do you get the black Jews to go after the white Jews? How do you get the male Jews to go after the female Jews? If you can do that, it makes it a lot easier to separate the Jews into smaller groups and pick out the Jews that you choose. As a Russian German of Hebrew descent, primarily, does that make me a Nazi because I'm Germanic? Does it make me a commie because I got some Russian? How about the Jewish part? A lot of these neo-Nazi people, they want to say, oh, well, you know, the Nazis didn't do that. The Jews threw them in the oven. You're right. But why? They were under extreme duress. Much as the situation that homeless people are facing in the United States. All them Jews getting everything that they own taken away from them, given to the state, and then you want to shove them into concentration camps, forced labor camps, both based on what? American chain gangs. American fucking chain gangs. That's right. The 13th Amendment did not free the slaves. It didn't. What it did was make slavery a state institution, a government-run institution. And instead of slavery only being allowed in the South, it was now allowed, and still is allowed, anywhere. That gives these people a lot of incentive. It gives judges, lawyers, public pretenders, it gives them all a lot of excuses to do nothing. They profit from denying you your human rights. But if you don't matter, if you're not an actual human, like obviously homeless people are not humans. They can't possibly be humans. Because not only are they denied basic human rights, but you guys make every excuse for every fucking predator who takes it out on them. So there's women now who want to post up about how men need to do something. No, the fuck I don't. These women did not help me, did they? They didn't fucking care. They pretended. They gaslighted. It's not my fault that you taught women to be manipulative fucking bitches. Thank goodness for the very few of them that aren't. Thank goodness for the very few women in this country who are not that way. Thank goodness for the very few women in the United States who don't blame everything on men. Thank goodness for the very few women in the United States who are not mooching off of men, who are not taking advantage of men who are actually willing to go to work. I couldn't tell you how many friends I've had that raised children that weren't theirs. Some of them knew that these kids weren't theirs, and still they raised those children as if they were their own. Many other ones were straight up duped. This is very often. When a woman goes from only dating alcoholics and assholes while she's drunk to all of a sudden she's asking out every nice guy she knows, she's already pregnant, dumbass. She's already fucking pregnant. It's not your kid. You ever wonder why Well, on your birth certificate, although you were born on time, you were 7 pounds, 9 ounces. But she has a baby, 2 months premature, and it weighs 8.5 pounds. Oh yeah, that's fucking realistic. Yeah, you're an intelligent person now. That's the thing about good men. There aren't any. You fucking killed them all. You abuse good men. That's not his fucking kid. You got that kid because you got drunk. You wanted to go out and fucking party. Life is a fucking party. And when there were consequences for that party, yeah, you passed those consequences onto a good man and went back to fucking partying. I know men right now who are taking care of multiple kids that aren't theirs. They know the children are not theirs. They know the fathers. They know the mothers. But of course, the father and mother are out getting fucked up on drugs and fucking. And that good man is going to work every day, sometimes 14 to 16 hours every day. How the hell is that single father, who is not even the biological father of these children, how is it that he is going to pay for childcare? How is it that he is going to raise his children with the morals that he has when he doesn't get to raise them? He works too fucking much. But yeah, men's fault, right? We got all these women who want to complain about guns. Guns. Guns make you bad, MK. Cool, just found a comb. Alright, somebody just commented, well, women want to be equal, right? Well, it is time to be equal. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But what we need to consider here is, what is equality? If women are making $5,000 a year less than men on average, but men are working an average of, 16 hours a week more than women? On average. Hey, Dean.
You heard him say my advantage to go to Dallas, right?
Yeah, do you still have the piece of paper?
Yeah, it's fucking right. We're having 26.
Yes, sir. If you can get me that information, I can try to help you out. It's a homeless disabled man. They stole his vehicle yesterday. Do what? I can't hear what he's saying. The point here is, it's not the men allowing these predators to get away. It's not the men making excuses that allow these predators to get away. When a woman is trying to turn in a rapist, she's more likely to get help by a lot. Men are told they just need to let it go. They just need to let it go. They just need to let it go. When it happens to a man, he's told it's his fault. It's his fault for being there. It's his fault. It's his fault that he was victimized because he was there. Just because he was there. I'm going to tell you some quick guidelines here for equality. Dear ladies, although most of you aren't ladies, I'm going to give you the rules that I gave to every girl at Chapel High School. I was there. See, I didn't grow up in Chapel. These are a bunch of ignorant Midwest farmers' daughters. They don't know shit about the world. I tell them, hey, if you go to a party while you're at college, go with women. Make sure that you have a designated driver. Make sure that you have a, well, so-called partner in crime. It's not a wingman. She's not there to help you get laid. She's there to make sure you don't get taken advantage of. the same time, there's also issues of if a woman doesn't get what she wants, that includes penis, she can make any claim that she wants and destroy a man's life. And we have seen this hundreds and hundreds of times playing out live on YouTube and Facebook. And even then, the woman gets away with it. You will make excuses for her. Female predators, they do the same thing as male predators. These female predators, they go to other females and say, oh, us girls got to stick together. That's how Rihanna Ingersoll was able to manipulate those two girls at her place in Rawlins, Wyoming. She would beat on them and fucking smack them around and smack them around and smack them around. And me and Rihanna would get into an argument about it. She'd kick me out, and then she'd go to those girls, oh, it's just us now. Us girls got to stick together. And then she'd fucking smack them around some more. Why was she smacking them around? Because she's a goddamn alcoholic. She can't smack them around anymore. She's dead. That's one good thing about many of my female predators is that they're fucking dead. They died. Some of them of natural causes, some of them from alcoholism, and some of them from Joseph Michael Lopez. No matter how you want to fucking sell the scenario, I was Natalie Bollinger's victim, not the other way around. When I was being victimized and I tried to get help, because I have a penis, I was blown off by everyone. All those things that women say are horrible, horrible things when it's a woman going through it. And these very same women claiming that it's horrible do these exact same things to me. And how do they not see the connection there? How do they not put two and two together? Oh yeah, because we have taught women that men are not human. We have taught men that women are not human. We've also taught men that they're not men unless they are violent because a woman asked them to. You have to defend her honor. No. Look at fucking Will Smith with Jada Pinkett Smith. There was no honor lost there. There was no honor there to begin with. You have to be honorable before you can be dishonored. If you are a dishonorable wretch, you got no room to speak. There's a big difference between this crap that you're going through and the hell that we're going through. You might get pregnant. You might get raped. Your dad might fuck you. I'm not dealing in maybes or mights. I'm dealing in facts. See where I'm at right now? This is a fact. This right here is Sean David Schwartz. It's a fact. This is a street, or a sidewalk rather, in Hood River, Oregon. That is a fact. That thing right there. That mountain over there. That is on the Washington State side of the Columbia River. That is a fact. Let's look at the difference between facts and bullshit. This down here says Mountain Hood Railroad. This is important. This is a fact. It says Mountain Hood Railroad. Now, obviously, private property, no walking past there. That's where, the ruins is what it's called. But I want you to look at it. Mountain Hood Railroad, Hood River, Oregon. Now, this isn't important. This is not important in an abuse case. Whether or not it says Mountain Hood Railroad, Hood River, Oregon, is arbitrary. That's why we can use it right now without hopefully offending people. Now, if you want to argue with me over what that says, well, if I take a screenshot of it, I can prove what it says. But you would argue and pretend that because you have a vagina, I must be wrong. You want to manipulate others into not looking by telling them that I'm crazy. It still says Mount Hood Railroad. Whether you pretend I'm crazy or not. If I'm being abused over that piece of evidence, and I'm being assaulted over that piece of evidence, maybe that fucking piece of evidence should be fucking looked at. If people are assaulting me because they want to claim that it's not Mount Hood Railroad, that it's Snoqualmie County Railroad, it's not Snoqualmie County fucking Railroad, or Snoqualmie, sorry. It's not Snoqualmie Pass Railroad, it's Mount Hood Railroad. The location here. If people want to claim that I was up in Snoqualmie Pass and that I must have been at Snoqualmie Pass because they've seen a similar railroad car at Snoqualmie Pass, well, maybe instead of just assuming, we should take a fucking look at the goddamn label on the side of the fucking train. Maybe we should look at fucking facts. Maybe we should look at my fucking screenshots and see if the slander is fucking true. But oh yeah, you can't do that because you have to have a victim pool. And how is it that we are your victim pool? You push everything that is wrong with your society, the society that pushes us out and won't allow us to be a part of it, the society that sends police officers to steal our things, to force us into worse than refugee status in the United States. We can send tents that American taxpayers paid for. We can send these things to foreign countries where they are set up, and literally in the Sudan, yes, they still have tents that are 20 years old, still in the Sudan from the United States. Why are they still there? Why are those tents still there? Here in the United States, you would have forced them to move in 2 weeks. They're allowed 2 weeks in federal forest land and 2 weeks in state forest land every 6 months. Where the fuck are you supposed to live the rest of the time? You want to talk about how these people in Africa have it worse than we do? Really? You know, after 20 years of living in a tent, the same tent, same area, getting to have neighbors, getting to know your neighbors, getting to actually set something up and work to make things even better. One of those tents started off, it was a young man who lost his family. And while in that refugee city, he learned to become a doctor. So his tent is now a makeshift medical facility. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. He's not an American doctor for sure. He's not a doctor by American standards for sure. He for surely doesn't have the piece of paper. But he has the knowledge and he saves the lives and he's there to do it when it matters. The first responder is not the fucking cops. The first responder is you. If someone dies in your vicinity because you were calling the cops, it's your fault for calling the cops. When a person in the house beats up a homeless person, you arrest the homeless person. When a woman beats on a man, you arrest the man. You refuse to look at evidence and assume guilt. No, we're not fucking friends. We're not. Now, just because I think you're a useless piece of shit doesn't mean I won't fight for your human rights. You're still a human. You're just a human colon, like my grandpa. My grandpa raped my mom all growing up, all through high school, according to her. Well, that really makes my grandpa sound like an asshole, doesn't it? But my grandpa had money that my mom could extort him out of. My Uncle Greg knew that my grandpa was raping my mom. He helped to extort over $200,000 out of my grandpa. This is according to my grandmother. Now, whether or not she was aware at the time that my grandpa was fucking my mom is debatable. My grandma's not here to speak up. At the time, she wasn't married to my grandpa. She got married to somebody else. That's where the loud noise is coming from. Now y'all keep pushing the it's men's fault thing. Chloe Roma claims to be a men's rights advocate. She does absolutely speak up for women, but she doesn't apply the same rules each way. It is never okay to lie in court. Never. Morally, it is wrong. I like the 10 Commandments, but I only like 5 of them. Because those 5 commandments teach you how not to insult other human beings to the point that they want to fucking kill you. The reason for that is because, like most creatures, humans are territorial and breeding rights are fucking important to them. You're still animals. When I call you animals, that's not an insult. The difference between you and animals is that animals don't make excuses, they simply do. If an animal wants to fucking shit on your sidewalk, it's not going to give you an excuse for why it shat on the sidewalk. It shouldn't have to give you an excuse for why it shat on the sidewalk. That squirrel that's living in your oak tree out back, is that squirrel being charged rent? No, that squirrel absolutely is not paying rent. And I'm sorry, but I accidentally pressed the wrong button on my telephone. Now we've got this thing that tells us that apparently no matter how twisted, evil, and manipulative and vindictive a woman is to you, that it's your fault and you deserve it. You chose for those things to happen. You know, when people do that to black folks, I speak out because it's wrong. It's not any more or any less wrong to do it to a white person. It's still wrong. When I get told about how all these people owned slaves back in the day, no. Less than 1% of white Southerners owned slaves. The rest of those son of a bitches were fighting because they were, well, you guys know what the draft is. Now, being from Nebraska, where there's no blacks or Mexicans, and they blame everything on blacks and Mexicans, obviously, I don't fit in. I don't fit in Nebraska. I didn't grow up in Nebraska, though. I was born in Scotts Bluff in 1980, but Neither one of my parents were gonna stay there. First thing my mom did is go to Colorado for cocaine. First thing my dad did was go to Wyoming for cocaine. Right? It's a hell of a split, ain't it? Now here in Hood River, obviously I've been documenting this for a while. We did some panhandling over there by the Walmart. We did some panhandling down there by the Safeway. We did some panhandling. I'm against panhandling. I don't like it, but I needed to show you the difference culturally. I mean, seriously, you see the people who have been good to me in this town. They're the brown people, the brown ones. It ain't the white folk. Now, sure, you can go through my videos and you can find a select few. Oh, well, this white person was nice to you. That white person was nice to you. Yeah, and how many drove by with nasty sneers and filthy looks? Hey, Dean, I don't get paid till the 1st, but if you can get that paper, I can help you get your Winnebago. I'm going the wrong way. All right. Now that's a confusing situation there. He wants information, but he doesn't want my help. And I get that. I really do. He already knows it ain't gonna do any good. I'm homeless. He also knows he ain't got nowhere to put it. He also has this impression that he's gonna be able to do it himself. Of course, this is the same guy that when I was explaining to him about they were gonna tow his vehicle, he didn't grasp it. He didn't get the concept. It was completely beyond him. Oh, I found a worm. Reminds me of something my older brother once said about erectile dysfunction. He said it's hard to shoot pool with a rope. Obviously, we can look around this town. We can see a bunch of white folks. Hello. They're all over the place. All over. Now, where do we see most of the brown folks? Are they marching up and down the street here like everybody else? Some of them are. Some of them definitely are. You also get to see how most of these white people are by themselves or in a group of one or two. Most of the Hispanic people who are out, they're out with their whole families. The Americans like to push their own families out of things, be entirely non-inclusive with their own families, and then blame their families because they don't have a relationship. Kind of like my dad spending all that time in prison. And when he got out, well, he didn't want to recognize the fact that he had two sons who were literally raped in the system because he couldn't stop fucking around with cocaine. Was it my choice to be put in the system? No. Was it my choice for grown men to shove their cocks up my asshole? Absolutely not. It still happened. Of course, I'm a male, so nobody cared. Now, my older brother, Rabbit, or Eric Schwartz, he was molested at a place called Colorado Christian Home. Now, I've been to Colorado Christian Home twice, but not as a resident. I went there twice to go see my older brother. No tobaccos yet. We'll find one, though. Now, when Eric was in Colorado Christian Home, one of the staff members couldn't keep his nasty cock beaters to himself. Guess what? Not only did that man lose his job, and rightfully so, you don't go touching kids like that, but my older brother was even going to testify. Y'all are stupid. You're sexist. And you're morons. Women, dear women of the United States, I can't judge all women on the planet because I don't know all women on the planet. But I do know that the mentality of American women is sickening. The mentality of American men is sickening. The idea that only a woman can be a victim and only a man can be a predator, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. According to some of the statistics from Facebook and YouTube, thank you, sir, women show an overwhelming majority of the narcissistic traits. They're also more likely to use and abuse the internet for stalking a man. But that's not what you want to hear. You want to pretend that there's no such thing as female predators, because if we admit that there's female predators, it hurts the female cause. No, fuck you. No victim left behind. I don't give a shit what color you are. I don't. Hello, gentlemen. If you are raped, somebody needs to be there. Somebody needs to be there when you try to turn in your perpetrators. I know too many men and women who are asked questions by the cops like, well, are you sure you didn't ask for it just a little bit? Are you insane? If I had asked to be raped, I wouldn't be coming to you, officer. What the hell makes you think it's okay to ask a victim if they maybe wanted to be raped? Are you fucking insane? Alright, so we're around kids, so we're going to watch our mouths for a few seconds. And then about 20 feet, we're going to get filthy and foul-mouthed again. Holy hell, right? I don't have anyone to help me with this stuff in person. I literally haven't through the entirety of this. See, that's the thing, is if you're going to be there and help somebody, you actually have to help them. If you can't get off the goddamn bottle, how the fuck are you going to help anybody? You're not. And it's pretty fucking important to let somebody know that you're a goddamn alcoholic before they believe your bullshit. I mean, it's bad enough that we got so many people to help rapists get away with raping women, even with all the support that women have. It's even worse how men are treated when they are abused. When a man is sexually assaulted, he's told he just needs to shut up, he just needs to take it. Or, of course, people say, oh, well, it's not my fault. Well, excuse me, I didn't come to you for help because it's your fault. I came to you for help because I was raped. So maybe instead of saying it's not your fault and making it about you like a piece of shit, you should shut the fuck up and listen to the victim. That's not complicated. If your daughter comes to you and says, hey, daddy's been touching me, and you don't do shit about it, you know that within 6 months' time, she's going to be cutting on her wrists, scraping in just barely with a lady Bic to try to get attention to stop that abuse that is still ongoing. And what are you going to do? You're going to fucking ignore it. You're going to call her in on a suicide watch. They're going to say that she's mentally ill. They're going to put her on pills, and they're going to discredit her. And now daddy can rape her whenever he wants. Oh yeah, you're a good fucking mom. What happens a year down the road from that? Oh, yeah, sure. Dad pretends everything is fine and dandy. It's called a honeymoon period. It's kind of like a woman after he beats the living fuck out of her. Oh, I'll never do it again. I'm sorry, I'm a changed man. No, the fuck he ain't. You know what a changed man is? I am a changed man. I was nice to everyone. I was kind to everyone. I protected everyone. And now listen to me. I'm a foul-mouthed, mean son of a fucking bitch. You goddamn right. And rightfully fucking so. When your daughter starts cutting on the places that people can't see, yeah, you done fucked up big. When your daughter is cutting on her upper thighs, that is when you know that you should just do the honorable thing and blow your own fucking head off. You destroyed your daughter to the point that there ain't a human being left in there. You say nobody owes you this and nobody owes you that. Well, if the law doesn't work, but I gotta pay him anyway. None of this shit actually works, but you're making me try it anyway, knowing it doesn't fucking work. That doesn't say that I'm mentally ill. That shows that you are mentally ill. That shows that you are a sick, fucked up individual. If you know it doesn't work, why are you telling me to try it? Also, why are you going to be using something that does work, but you're going to claim that it doesn't? You're going to waste fucking time, and you're going to destroy the victim's chance or ability to turn in their fucking predators. My predators didn't get away because I didn't try to turn them in. My predators got away because of public opinion about penises. I'm autistic. Did you know 30% of us don't care about sex at all? I'm not the only autistic person who doesn't care about your vagina. But if I don't do what you want when you choose to victimize me, you can pretend whatever the hell you want. Natalie Marie Bollinger is fucking dead. Joseph Michael Lopez put a 9mm in her fucking brain. She was shot with her boyfriend's 9mm Glock 19 at 6 to 15 inches away from her left temple, while she was on her knees at McIntosh Dairy outside of Thornton, Colorado. She was not the first, she will not be the last. Tibor Hatay, he's another corpse, because people wanted to pull the mentally ill bullshit when I tried to turn in my predators. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV is another victim of my predators. Elijah McClain is another victim of my predators, in specific by name. How many people did Officer Waylon Lolotai assault after me? Huh? Too many. How many people are dead because you won't listen to something with a penis? How many people are dead? Are you applying these rules that you're claiming that all men should be following over this abortion crap? Are you following that when it comes to the disabled who you're ignoring this shit happening to? When you're complaining about assault rifles not being banned, but abortion is? Well, where? See, that's the thing. Assault rifles, quote unquote, are banned in many places. Primarily in neighborhoods of people who will potentially shoot back. That's right. If you give a bunch of people in poor black neighborhoods guns, they will have the ability to shoot back when cops are fucking murdering them. Oh, you don't want that? No, but you can let the KKK march down the street with cops on either side of them for their own protection. These motherfuckers have guns up the ass. But what are you doing about it? You just want the guns out of the hands of the civilians. So when you got a 6'8", blonde-haired, blue-eyed Scandinavian bearing down on a 4'8" young woman, and he decides that he's going to do whatever he wants to her, Well, that's no contest, isn't it? But the moment you put a Colt 45 in her hands, the story changes. It doesn't matter if you're an 800 fucking pound gorilla. That 45 will stop you from doing anything that you're trying to do. Then we're getting told that we as men should not be allowed to speak on women's rights. Well, let's apply that towards men's rights. You women should not be allowed to have an opinion on men's rights. You should not be able to have an opinion on whether or not a man should have his tubes tied. You should not be able to have an opinion about my body. If it is wrong for these people to do this to your body, you say it's your body, your choice. What about mine? My body, my choice. When I am victimized, I must deserve it because penis. Well, fine. It's my fault because I have a penis. But if it's my fault that you chose to victimize me for having a penis, well, it's your fault for having a vagina. If my penis is the reason that you're victimizing me, well, obviously you don't have a penis. Otherwise, you'd have to victimize yourself, wouldn't you? Now then, when you do something fucked up and you get busted, do you enlist a whole bunch of women to help you? Yes, you do, and they will, because they're expected to socially. How many female teachers have gotten away with abusing young men and young women because people just didn't want to believe the victim? They wouldn't even hear of it. Oh no, no teacher in our county would ever fuck a child. You're dumb as a fucking stump. Not all of the victims are women. Not all of the predators are men. And you know what? Most of the time the predators are the goddamn cops. Knowing how the police treat a woman who is raped when she goes in alone, yeah, there is zero fucking chance for a man. But you don't care, do you? You don't care. You only care about other things with vaginas. You care to blame all men for the fact that you're not doing shit, woman. You know what? Go get yourself an assault rifle. Go get some of your lady friends and their husbands' assault rifles and those husbands. And you march your ass down to the Supreme Court and you exercise your Second Amendment right instead of bitching that you still have a Second Amendment right, but not the right to abort a fetus. You want to overturn that decision? You want to appeal that? Guns are the only way to do it. These people did not change any of the laws when it came to black people until what? Black people marched on California, the state capitol building, guns in hand. You want to say it was Martin Luther King Jr.? Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't talk about the Black Panther Party the way that I talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., do I? That's because I like his ideas better. I like the way that he tried it better. But the fact remains that he was a complete and total 100% fucking failure. We want to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King talking. Meanwhile, the things that he talked about, we're still enduring to this day, and not just black people. Dr. Martin Luther King did not fight for black rights. He fought for human and civil rights. Do you not get that? He didn't just talk about his experience as a black man. He was well aware and spoke up on many occasions about the fact that it is a war on the poor. But if that doesn't fit your narrative, if that doesn't hate the people that you hate, if you hate people, or you hate brown people, or you hate black people, if the truth does not fit your hate, you will ignore it. And right now we have taught everyone in America that everything is men's fault. You are supposed to hate men. You are supposed to. If a woman rapes a boy, it's the boy's fault. Isn't it? You want to make the claim that, oh, well, if he can get an erection, that means he's aroused and he wanted it. Really? I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. That's like the argument of, if a woman is moist downstairs, she must have wanted it. No. That is not okay. When somebody tells you no, it doesn't matter what their body parts do. It doesn't. If a man has erection and he tells you no, it still fucking means no. If he's a 13-year-old boy, well, he doesn't actually have the right to say yes. He does not have the ability to consent. If there's anything I am more disgusted with in this country than how the homeless and disabled are treated, it's how women blame men for everything that they do. Or they blame the wrong men for things that other men do. Look at the case of Ted Bollinger. Couldn't keep his dick out of his own daughter. And who's taking the consequences? Me. Who's the sick old fucker who was actually dating and fucking Natalie? That'd be Tim motherfucking Beeson. But who takes the fucking abuse? Me. Meanwhile, the people who fucking slandered me in court weren't there for any of it. But I'm not allowed to defend myself. I must be guilty because I have a penis. I must be guilty because you call me mentally ill. I must be guilty because I am fucking broke. I must be, huh? I'm an equalitarian. I believe we should all be treated equal. When it comes to abortion, no, I'm not for or against abortion. What I am for is forced sterilization of the entire populace. Humans cannot be allowed to continue to exist. They're stupid. They blame the wrong people, and they have selfish expectations. And the less a person has, the more you fucking expect from them. That's not okay. I'm gonna tell you some facts. And if you don't like these facts, you can come stop me from speaking those facts in person. You can come and get me and you can shut me up. It's a fact that black people are human people too. It is a fact that brown people are human people too. It is a fact that men are human people too. It is a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. Yeah! I spout some facts and I get me some change. Yeehaw! 30 cents out of that one. Now, of course, for a lot of folks, I'm walking down the business district. People are hearing this shit coming out of my face. They're hearing it loud and fucking proud. Unabridged and unfucking edited. There's not a chance in fucking hell that I am going to pretend that rape is okay. No matter who it is done to, it is wrong. However, if you're gonna spout that ignorant bullshit at me, I'm gonna change a word. One fucking word is all it takes. If I change the word man into woman, you fucking freak. If I change the word white into black, you fucking freak. You freak the fuck out as if I raped your fucking dog in front of your goddamn kids. Jesus Christ, that's fucking dumb. It's not my fault that you're mentally retarded. You know what retarded means? It means slowed down. Oh, dead bird. It means slowed down. Now, you guys want to commonly use retard to describe people like me with autism, people with neurological disorders such as cerebral palsy, and people with Down syndrome. Not okay. I want to thank you for existing, sir. I told you I was raised in the system. I was raised with minorities. White people scared the living fucking hell out of me. You know what my first taste of white society was? Here I am, growing up mostly with Asians, Native Americans, and primarily black folks. Because my parents couldn't stay off the cocaine. Of course, we gotta try to pretend like that's just a black issue, right? That's just something that happens in black people's areas and neighborhoods. No, cocaine was everywhere in the 80s, and my parents couldn't stay the hell off of it. Man, would you be willing to sell me one of them tobaccos? Well, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I can. Here, let me end the video here, because I'm railing against assholes and rapists and fucking chimos. Right. All right, assholes, I'll be back to make fun of you and tell you you're fucking ugly shortly.